You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome to a new season of Red Devil Postgame, your in-depth look at GHS sports. I'm Colin Ewing.
And I'm Brandon Sewell. Our top headline is the outstanding season the varsity football team is having this year.
Yes, sir, Brandon. These boys have simply been unstoppable lately. Currently, they are 5-2 with wins against CBHS, MUS, Whitehaven, Hillcrest, and Bartlett. They are 2-1 in district play with a loss against Houston High School. The fact that GHS is ranked 8th in the city of Memphis for our division is just icing on the cake.
Well, their stats are incredible, and I think we have to look back at that summer camp the team had. That's where it all started.
Understand that we are champions and we should carry ourselves as champions.
Get in your proper stance. Run fast. Effort cannot be coached. I need effort. Give me your all-out effort.
Coming to camps like these, man, are amazing opportunities for our guys who obviously come from different parts of life, but they come together as one unit, and I think we made a major step here at this camp this year.
But it hasn't been easy for the Red Devils. They won their first 3 games by a touchdown or less. So let's get into some of the games. First up, CBHS.
We started out pretty slow. I mean, that was as slow as I ever. We really didn't feel like we was losing at halftime. We felt like we were just hurting ourselves, as Coach Jean said. I just feel like we were supposed to win from the jump.
The game started off rough for us, being down 20-0 in the first half.
Right, but that was until Oziel Hernandez had a field goal at the end of the first half, making it 23.
Yep, and then we were just straight unstoppable, Brandon,
right.
Scoring 23 unanswered points.
Like, it was just a magical game for us. I mean, we thought that going in, CBHS was going to be the better team, but we shocked everybody.
We shocked everybody because we're like that. It's that simple, Brandon. Final score, 26-20, GHS.
The next week against MUS, the Red Devils managed just 98 yards of offense, but still defeated the Owls, 21-16, scoring on a pair of kickoff returns, a fumble return, and a safety. And what about that game against Whitehaven? I mean, Germantown stunned Whitehaven on a trick play with just seconds left.
It was a rough start. The game didn't open up how we wanted it to be. Just a lot of mistakes that shouldn't have happened early on.
We're fast. They're extremely fast, but they were really, really fast on defense, really fast and explosive on offense.
We was penalized a lot. It was happening so much that they was able to get down the field without wanting to play at all. It affected the game a lot. It gave them yardage and opportunities that they shouldn't be able to get if we were to play disciplined hard football.
So that play was called Panther, and the team had been working on that since April.
I know Coach Jean really wanted this win against Whitehaven. I know that had to feel good for him.
It had to hurt. I mean, like, they had to lead with just 17 seconds left in the game. And then we had that trick play, and we won the entire game.
They were not prepared for it whatsoever,
Right.
Brandon.
Coach Jean had the amazing game plan, and we just secured the win. That final score being 24-21, GHS.
The Red Devils got a breather when they hosted Hillcrest at home. It was homecoming, so it was good to play a team that didn't pose as much of a threat. But the team had some work to do against Bartlett, who was coming off a huge win against Lausanne.
The game Friday versus Bartlett was a great one. I think you had two great teams matched up against each other.
We getting ready just to go to war. We've been preparing for it all week, so we're just going to put on for the city.
Obviously, it was a great job by us for coming out on top, you know what I mean? I thought those guys on the other side were prepared as well.
And it was crazy, intense, you know, close.
Bartlett went ahead 7-0 in the first quarter.
Guzak. Was it Guzak?
Come on, man.
It was 7-0. But that was until Osiel Hernandez later on in the game. He secured the win for us. But it almost wasn't a win. With 2 minutes and 44 seconds left, they blocked our punt.
They blocked our punt. It was a mad scramble in the end zone, resulting in a touchback and, you know, Bartlett getting the ball back.
Right, and they got that safety, so it inched them closer with 2 points. But, I mean, ball is truth, so.
We just know how to execute, Brandon.
Right, and we won that by 1 point, though. 17-16.
GHS.
The schedule didn't get easier for the Red Devils. Houston stopped the Devils in their tracks. The defense just couldn't get it together.
We played a pretty good team in Houston High. I thought our kids fought hard. I thought they played to the very last snap. Obviously, we had a lot of mistakes and couldn't seem to get out our own way.
I feel like we had a great game plan. We just didn't execute all the way.
I want to talk about something special, though, that I think is special to me. I mean,
really?
Our Red Devil quarterback, he went 10 of 18 for 149 yards on his pass accuracy.
Look, I know that's good for basketball terms, but for a quarterback, you know, that's decent numbers. I really expected more from Isaiah for this game.
But I mean, think of the math. That's above 50% pass accuracy. Don't you think that's good?
That is true, but, you know, that really doesn't matter if it results in a loss.
Yeah.
Final score, 35-24, Houston. The schedule got even more difficult. The Red Devils had to face the undefeated Collierville Dragons. The offense didn't score a single touchdown. The Red Devil defense only held them to 20 points.
Last Friday was tough for us. We did not come out on top. We played a tough team in Collierville. Thought we did well defensively in the first half. We let them off the hook and let them get 6 going into halftime, and that really hurt us.
We did what we were supposed to do on defense. You know, obviously we were going to struggle on offense because our starting QB was on concussion protocol. It was hard, but we held up our end of the bargain in the first half.
So obviously our Red Devil quarterback, he couldn't play.
Yeah, Isaiah was hurt. J.D. Davis suffered a concussion that game.
Mm-hmm.
It was looking bleak, but I'm glad that the bench players, you know, got some minutes in.
Mm-hmm. The underclassmen. I mean, they put in a freshman quarterback in the game. They put in a freshman quarterback against one of the top team in the state. No, not the state, the city. Top team in the city.
And I will say our defense did held up. They only held the #1 team in our state to 20 points. And last game we suffered like 35 points.
Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, it was a big improvement on our defense.
It was a big improvement. We were without our star running back and we were without our quarterback.
Mm-hmm. But ball don't lie.
Ball don't lie. Final score, 6-20, Collierville.
While Colin and I can go back and forth all day about sports, we have to take a break.
But when we come back, we'll chat with Coach Cobb about the football season so far. So stay tuned.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Red Devil Postgame. The 5-2 Red Devils are having one of their best seasons in recent memory. They've been pushing through these last couple of games with tough competition. Head coach Cobb is here with us to discuss the season and playoff prospects. So thank you for coming on the show, Coach Cobb.
Appreciate y'all having us, man. Appreciate y'all.
So can you give us a quick overall view of the season?
Well, start out the year. Started out with Christian Brothers, tough football game, rivalry football game. You know, most of our schedule and the teeth of our schedule has been right there at the beginning, and it's been a crazy year. You know, be down 20-0, 20-3 in the middle of the third, come back and win. You know, not to score any touchdowns either team for MUS game, and I think they was ranked number 9 at the time, and that was to be able to find a way to win that game. And of course, the Whitehaven game, that game was just crazy, man. You know, 21 seconds to score, and we go about 61, 63 yards, win it with the hitch and pitch. Our kids just kept finding ways. If they've been knowing all year, they just kept finding ways to win the football game. Then we go to Hillcrest for homecoming. That was a fun experience. It was a blackout for our kids. Really good game. And then we dropped one to Houston. Just didn't play well enough to win it. Quarterback took a shot, had a couple guys that went down. We just didn't play well enough versus Houston to win it. Go to Collierville and started out really, really good. You know, I came on the show before and kind of talked about Isaiah Tate and, you know, we'll go as he go. And he took a shot and, you know, he didn't get to play Collierville. And once they realized that, you know, we couldn't throw the football, it was just a much different football program. But, you know, the status of our football team right now, we're just moving forward, you know. Kind of talked to the kids about the thing we knew was 2 really good football teams were going to play, and one was going to win and one was going to lose. And unfortunately for us, you know, we just didn't play well enough to, you know, win the ball game. I thought defense played well enough to win it. If we could have scored more points, I thought we would have been fine or just able to continue to move forward.
So what is the status of our quarterback?
He's fine. He actually got cleared last week. He's fine to go. He'll be ready to go, and we'll be playing this Friday night. Had a great week of practice.
That's good to hear. So the freshman team has been undefeated so far this season. Are there any players you're looking at towards varsity next season?
Oh, yeah, we got a couple players already that's coming out to varsity. I think first and foremost, Coach Skates and Coach Thomas and Coach Franklin and the coaching staff on the freshman thing. They've done an awesome job, tremendous job of coaching those kids up. We've already moved up Trey. We moved up Troy's quarterback, Makai. Tristan has already been playing up as our backup quarterback. Kavius is actually starting on varsity for us at safety.
Who should we spotlight for next game? Like, just give me a process in your mind real quick.
Really looking for B.J. Blake and Isaiah Tate to have on the offensive side of the football to continue to have a coming out party. Morrow will be Morrow. Izzy, he's doing well. Just want to see them have breakout games. They had a great week of practice, so I think they'll do well.
All right. When it comes to the team as a whole, what are some strengths and weaknesses about it?
I think the strength of our football team is just the pack of our football team right now. There's them being a family and us and the family atmosphere and, of course, athleticism and speed. Our weaknesses right now is probably depth at quarterback and depth at the offensive and defensive line. You know, we can't get in a situation where we have to play some guys that's on down or younger guys down in that area. But our weaknesses is us. We're playing against ourselves every week. If we do what we're supposed to do, everything will be fine.
So would you say that we're in good shape for the playoffs this year?
I think so. We're fairly healthy. We played the teeth of our schedule at the front. Now we're winding down. You never want to look over an opponent, but we're winding down to some much more needed rest in the bye week and much, you know, we're the downward spiral of our football schedule right now.
All right, I appreciate you talking with us, Coach Cobb.
I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all having us. Go Red Devils.
Go Red Devils. Our volleyball team has had a rough season, going 3-1 in district play. They returned from their tournament in Paducah, Kentucky, winning 3 games, but also losing 3. They've had a great amount of grit this season. Talking a little bit about them so far is head coach Julie Henry.
It was an exciting night to be a Red Devil as the varsity volleyball team defeated Southwind on senior night. Kelby Jackson and Coach Henry joined me to talk more about the game. So Kelby, what was the highlight of the game for you?
The highlight for the game for me was the energy and how the team came together to defeat Southwind tonight.
All right, and Coach Henry, obviously preparation was key. Can you elaborate on that?
We've been working all year on team court chemistry, on making sure our energy is up high and making smart decisions on the court.
And Kelby, what were some of the team's strengths tonight?
Hitting, Really offense, so that was more of the strength for tonight.
Coach Henry, I hate to talk about this after a win, but where can the team improve?
We can always improve in serve receive. You know, we are a pretty young team. We only had 2 returning players that started on varsity last year. And so we had a lot of growth to make this year, and we've done a lot of tremendous growth. I'm very proud of them and how far we've come. We still have a lot of work to do, but we're ready to face the challenge. We're excited about our districts coming up soon.
That's very good. And Kelby, what does winning on senior night mean to you?
It's a special night. It's senior night. We took the win, and I'm glad that we beat Southwind on senior night.
Lastly, Coach Henry, looking towards district playoffs, which are coming up, what do you think the team needs to succeed?
We need to make sure that we are staying strong mentally, that we are there for each other with our energy, and that we are ready to face whoever it is on the other side of the court without fear.
I would like to thank the both of you for taking time out to speak with me, and I wish you the best luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you so much.
Reporting for Red Devil Postgame, I'm Willa Johnson.
The cross-country team saw major improvements this year from last year. While the season is over, they are hoping to continue improving next season. Red Devil postgame reporter and runner Kirsten Clark talked with assistant coach Nelson about the team.
Hey Red Devils, I'm here at Shelby Farms where I and the cross-country team has just finished a meet. Here to talk about the team and the season is assistant coach Nelson. Hi Coach Nelson.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Doing great. We had a great meet today.
Can you give us a recap of the season so far?
Sure. Cross country starts all the way back in May with conditioning, getting ready for a competitive season that starts at the beginning of the school year. And we've already had a number of meets so far, crossing paths here up at Shelby Farms and at the Twilight Classic. Team's looking great.
When you hear cross country, you hear long distance. Can you give us an average of how long a high school race is?
A high school cross-country race is about 3.1 miles, give or take. To be more precise, 5 kilometers.
A 5K is a pretty long distance. How do you keep your runners motivated?
A long-distance runner is a different breed of athlete. They're in it for the grind, not just during practice like most athletes are, but they are in it for the grind during the race. So they just put their minds to it and they keep going.
And what are some training techniques that you use to better your runners' times?
Some of the classic techniques that we put to use are over-distance running, where we're running a lot more miles than we're going to encounter in the race, as well as strength training and speed work.
What does the rest of the season look like for Germantown?
Germantown's entering the last phase of our training. We're putting the final touches on our speed and timing for our races. We have just a couple more regular meets before we're into championships, regionals, and then hopefully state.
Thank you, Coach. Is there anything else you would like to add?
I just want to say how proud I am of this team and how grateful I am to all of Germantown for their support.
Well, thank you for talking with us today, Coach Nelson. Reporting for GHS Red Devil Postgame, I am Kirsten Clark.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Red Devil Postgame. Recently, I had the opportunity to interview Erin Wilson, a sports journalist who works for ABC 24. Check it out.
Good afternoon. This is WMC Sports Extra. I'm Erin Wilson. The gym is quiet now, but just this morning, it was filled with prospects hoping to score a spot with the Memphis Hustle.
Thank you for agreeing to come on the show, Miss Wilson.
Thank you for having me.
So, how did you become interested in sports journalism?
Well, I started out as an athlete here. I played basketball from the age of 10 on up and through college. I played for local high schools. I played for Southwind High School, and then I played for Germantown. No, Germantown was the rival. But I did play for Southwind, and then I went to Overton. I finished out there, and I was blessed enough to get a scholarship to go play at Christian Brothers University here. From there, I started to study, wanting to be a sports agent. Couldn't do math to save my life. And from there, I switched majors very late into my college career. And I was able to get a few internships that led me into the business. And one connection after the other, and with help of people that were already in the business, I was able to find a place at a small station in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Normally this time of the year, spring season for college football players would just be wrapping up and they'd be getting ready for summer workouts.
How would you say that your sports background helped you with sports journalism?
Oh, a lot. A lot of the times now, I really do notice that when roles are reversed and I'm doing the interviewing, it's because of my relative knowledge of being an athlete at one point that helps me to really connect with the athlete.
So I feel that Memphis is a great market for sports. What would you say is unique about the area?
I will say Memphis is one of those tricky areas because although we do not have the NFL, we are a heavy basketball-focused city, which is a great thing because now we have someone like Ja Morant on the Grizzlies, and so whenever you have that and Penny Hardaway leading the Memphis Tigers, you have a lot of star power, if you will, to cover, which makes it a lot of fun. So I would say that is what's unique about covering sports in Memphis, your ability and accessibility to get to people like that in a way where if you're able to get to the personnel that is very important to the community in those sports, people are going to watch, they're going to want more, which helps you do your job.
What are your goals coming into Memphis when you talk about the success that you're hoping to have here as a player and as a teammate?
If you show what they want, your audience, then your ratings go up, which helps you, right? It's just like a give and take type of thing here.
So being in the middle of high school football season, how do you decide which teams to cover?
In the middle of football season, it differs, right? So you can have a program that's not that good, but they have a player that's really good and maybe highly recruited. And then another thing is almost pinpointed to the kids that are local. Obviously, a lot of the times, most high school teams, which is all we can go off of, are local, right? And so you go after those. For you guys, it's B.J. Blake.
Right.
That's one of the main characters that you hear that name and then people know, oh, that's Germantown football. So you go after stories like that, and a lot of times that's how you kind of go about picking Friday night football on the high school level.
So besides Germantown, what teams would you say we should look out for this season?
Okay, so there are a lot of really great teams in the city of Memphis this year. So Houston is one of those out front. So is Collierville. Both of those programs are really good. Obviously, you mentioned Germantown. They're up there as well. Fairleigh is in a lower class, or a smaller class, I should say, but they are actually undefeated.
Wow.
And they have a freshman on the team that is 9 times out of 10, once he's able to open recruitment, will be highly recruited. And then you have schools that are kind of outside of the area. Covington, they're doing pretty well. I believe Mumford is doing okay. But so far in the area, Houston, Germantown, Collierville, like I said, Fairleigh, those are all, Lausanne, when you talk about the private schools, those are all schools to keep an eye on this season because they have a lot of big name players going to big name colleges, and they're playing big time football right now.
Right. So, Ms. Wilson, I want to switch gears a little bit. As a female in a male-dominated industry, what obstacles have you faced?
I love that question because I have asked that question in my time coming up in this career quite often. A lot of the time, it's actually just yesterday or the day before yesterday at the Tiger football game, I was the only female in the press conference room. And that is not uncommon. If you want to be in sports as a woman, you will find yourself in a lot of rooms alone. The biggest piece of advice I could give any woman that wants to be in this field is to know who you are and know that you belong there, and make sure that you do your research so that you can have a place in that room that demands respect. Because if you know what you're talking about and you're credible with your questions and the information that you're giving, and obviously speaking on air, that garners a lot of respect from your peers, colleagues that may be 40 years older than you or your same age, but they feel like women, I won't say they feel like women don't belong, it's just an uncommon thing. So it's not the norm, which is becoming more normal now, but it's not always that way. So yeah.
It's not about how you start, it's all about how you finish. The Grizzlies are showing that. Look at it, look at the crowd. 104 to 92 with just moments left in this game.
So, lastly, let's say I'm interested in sports journalism. What are some steps I can take to get me on that path?
I would say, honestly, the thing you have to know when stepping into journalism that you have to commit to is, one, getting in the business, because it is extremely hard, and staying in the business. Doing the job is actually quite easy, especially in sports, because I tell people all the time, as a sports journalist, you're at some of the best games and you have the best seat in the house and you got it for free. And that's something that can be said when you think about the fact that it's a sporting event, right? Who doesn't want to be sidelined at a Grizzlies game or at a 9-on-1 FC game, right? Especially when they're sitting in the rafters. But the thing about it is doing the job well enough that you feel good about the job that you're doing. Trust yourself, trust the work that you do, and do the work when no one's watching. And once you do those two things, it's smooth sailing after that.
Well, Ms. Wilson, I just want to thank you so much for allowing me to interview you today. This is such a great conversation. I enjoyed it. For those watching, you can watch Ms. Wilson cover all the latest sports in the city on ABC 24. The Lady Red Devil soccer team has been on a roll this season with a district record of 4-0. Before fall break, the Red Devils put up a good fight against White Station. Red Devil postgame reporter Kirsten Clark talks to the coach about how they are improving with each game.
Hey Red Devils, I'm here at Crump Stadium where I just finished watching the girls soccer team play. They played an excellent game tonight. Here to talk with us today is varsity player Twin Vu and Coach Tucker. Hi Coach, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm good. Coach, that was a tough game. What went wrong today?
Well, I think we still played our game. They just happened to have it or want it more than we did. This isn't the end of our season. I feel like we're going to be able to learn from this game and be able to build on it.
Twin, did the team have a game plan for today, or did it just play out how it did?
I mean, the game plan was to win. We wanted to win, but unfortunately we didn't. I feel like we held it down, but there was just no luck there.
Coach, how has the team improved?
One of the things that I say that this team has done is they've grown together. At the beginning, a lot of players came in, they didn't want to really work well together, but now that as the season's going on, they're starting to trust each other and they're starting to play together as a team.
And Twin, what's the team's objective this season?
I mean, our objective is to just win. We want the best of the best. It's never to lose. And yeah, our objective is just build more chemistry and yeah.
And Coach, how will you keep the team's momentum going throughout the rest of the season?
It's one game at a time, one goal at a time. We start, we play, and we finish.
Twin, were there any highlights from you specifically throughout the game that you would like to share with us?
One of them was I like the fact that I kind of played back in defense a lot more, and I tried to run back to save them from scoring.
Well, thank you both for talking with me today, Coach Tucker and Twin Vu. Reporting for GHS Red Devil Postgame, I am Kirsten Clark.
That's it for this edition of Red Devil Postgame. We, of course, want to thank Coach Robinson and Aaron Wilson of ABC 24 for coming on the show today.
If you like today's show, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at GHS-TV. Until next time, I'm Colin Ewing.
And I'm Brandon Sewell. We'll see you next time on Red Devil Postgame.
Hey, Brandon.
Go Red Devils.